What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Hope y'all are having an awesome morning so far. Good nightcap with Scone last night. Thanks to everybody who participated. Some good conversation about LSU baseball, the future of the program there. And always appreciate the questions and the interaction. If you're on YouTube, please hit that like button. That is massively helpful. If you're on Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. So you see from the headline there, the title, that's probably what is going to get a large swath of the interest from many of you about anything about Eric Gilbert is obviously going to be intriguing to most or many. And Shay Dixon has a report this morning over at Go247 about Gilbert and about his future and about how the LSU coaches have set forth a path for him to return to LSU, and there might be some academic hurdles to clear, but that looks like that's inching closer to being a very real possibility. And, I trust Shay. Shay has a very good internal source at LSU. For those that don't know, Shay's wife is Emily Dixon, who works within the football program as well. So they balance that well, the two of them, without conflicts. But anyway, excuse me. So let me say some good mornings here, and then I'll finish that thought. Cliff Nelson, what's up, man? Jason Mobile, Tim Gotro, good morning. Michael Merritt, what's up? Jason Truax, Brian and Annie Pinton. I was linking to Jordy. Shay Dixon said Gilbert is back. Breezy Bro, what up? Nightcap was great, thank you, man. Roy Esai, good morning from New York City. Hey, Dad, Kelly Presley, good morning. So Shay didn't say that he's back, and it's not 100% confirmed. Shay said the path is being laid out there for Gilbert, and he's open to it, and that's, I think, a lot more progress than we initially might have expected. So just as a reminder with when Gilbert opted out, Ed Ogeron said his body hurt. And then later said he was working on some personal stuff and basically created a pretty big hullabaloo around Gilbert because of how that was handled, if you remember. A lot of former players started criticizing him, your body hurts, how are you going to play in the NFL? You got it, right? If y'all remember how that played out. And I told you then that it was way more than that, and that was Ed not handling it. I mean, look, you could have said anything. You could have said COVID. You say he's opting out because of COVID. I mean, you had the ultimate excuse last year. You could have said he was injured. You could have said a million things, but he said his body hurt. And then had to retract and say personal stuff. And the thing that, and I've never come forward and said what the actual problem was, what actually happened with Gilbert, because I don't feel like it's my place. And if it ever does come forward, then you'll all know. But that's something I think that needs to be something Eric Gilbert would do eventually if it came forward. But given what happened to him, my assumption always was that he would end up closer to home, that he would go to Georgia. So when he committed to Florida, I was surprised. When he decommitted from Florida, I was not surprised. But with all of these blocks stacking up, the one thing that's certain about Gilbert is making a prediction about what's going to happen with him is sure to leave you with egg on your face, because he's as unpredictable as most anybody that LSU's had. And that kind of leads to what some of the problem is. I mean, just look at his recruitment. I mean, nobody thought he was committing to LSU when he signed. I mean, even the LSU staff were shocked that they got him. But if they're able to set forth a path and a structure that's agreeable for Eric, for his family, and he's agreeable to it, and they can get him back here. First of all, I think a structure that they could set forward in a plan would be great for the kid, for the young man. And strictly from a football standpoint, that would be a game changer. It would be a total game changer. LSU, the first play of the season, they targeted Eric Gilbert. And they told him, once Terrace Marshall opted out, okay, we're building our offense around you now. And then before the Florida game, he opted out because of what happened. So if you have a chance to get him, like, you can see why LSU is bending over backwards to try to make this happen, because he's that good of a player. And it's also a situation where what transpired with Gilbert, it wasn't like it was necessarily his fault altogether. Anyway, I know that's really ambiguous, and I'm sorry for that. I would rather be way more direct. But suffice to say that if they're able to get Eric Gilbert back, that's obviously great for LSU football. And I think with a second go around, with a second opportunity to build structure around him and everybody on the same page, I think it would be really good for the kid too. I hope that's not totally awful and ambiguous, and I hope that helps some. Joey Vincent, what's up? Cliff Nelson, headed to the softball game today. Watch the Fighting Beth Torinas. There you go, man. Go Tigers. Go get them today. Jeff McKithen. Jerry, is the Sazerac thing in December by invitation only, because I plan on getting a hotel room? So, Jerry, the plan is to have, Sazerac House to be open. So we want to invite people into the Sazerac House during AFR. Now, what is not determined, I don't think as of now, is for the actual game. What we did last year was the winner of our sweepstakes got to have a game watch party on the third floor at the Sazerac House in their big ballroom, and I was there and all. That part, I don't know if we're opening to the public or if that's just going to be, again, the sweepstakes winner or what. So let me get some clarity on that. But as far as AFR, the plan is to do AFR from the main lobby of the Sazerac House and to have it open to whoever wants to come in during the show. So let me get some more info. And we will give you much more info as that comes along. Fear not. And we've got plenty of time before that. But it'd be great to see you, man. It'd be great to meet you and great to meet everybody who come down for that. Bo Roberts, good morning. Daniel Sonetz, good morning. Kirk Taylor, Stephen Miller, good morning. Tyler Coleman. Is Bama going this far in the tourney going to keep LSU out of the postseason? No, Tyler, what I would recommend, if you have a minute, go back and listen to my interview with Kendall Rogers yesterday on AFR. And he laid it out. It's not an either or LSU Bama in the tournament. And it's there's a really good possibility that both could get in. For what it's worth, Kendall, I'm sorry, I was looking at Stephen Miller right there. Kendall said even with their win yesterday, he still doesn't think Bama's in. That one more win would do it. So, I look at he gave out 5 conferences where you could have bid stealers, and that would be the problem for LSU. The leagues that you have a team likely to earn an at-large. For example, Fairfield. Fairfield is a top 5 RPI team. They're 35-2, something like that. And they're likely going to get an at-large. Well, they lost to Canisius in their conference tournament yesterday. Now, it's double elimination, so they got to run the table from here on out, which they can do. But if they don't, and Fairfield gets an at-large, and someone wins that league and gets the automatic bid from the league, well, that's a stolen bid. That's one fewer bid for an at-large team that we were expecting would be there. When you look at the AAC or Conference USA, you need a team like Southern Miss or Tulane to win, or East Carolina. You got to have the teams that you expect to win those leagues that are already going to be in to win those leagues. Like you need Gonzaga to win the West Coast Conference because Gonzaga is going to be in either way. So you need them to win their league, their tournament. Otherwise, that's another stolen bid. So that's the thing that could transpire that would push LSU out if you have bid stealing around the country. So cheer for the chalk, basically, is what you need to do. Earl Joseph Lytle, good morning. Kirk Taylor ready to pound Sazeracs with Scone on AFR. LOL. Well, I won't be drinking Sazeracs during AFR. Maybe during the last segment of AFR. Or maybe you can sneak me 1 or 2 during the show. Let's see. Is Gilbert going to be a more willing blocker when he comes back, if he comes back? Cliff, I don't need Eric Gilbert to block, bro. I mean, I understand wanting someone to be a good all-around player, but I don't think Florida had Kyle Pitts blocking a bunch last year. They didn't need him to block. I don't think Alabama had O.J. Howard with his hand in the dirt blocking. They didn't need him to block. They need him to be a mismatch to where no safety or linebacker in the country could cover him. I mean, that's what you need, man. I don't care if he ever blocks. I got guys that can block. I got Cole Taylor. I got Nick Storrs. They're bringing in Jack Besh, who they're moving to tight end. If Gilbert doesn't come back, Jack Besh could end up being your starting tight end as a freshman. They like him a lot, by the way, too. But I got guys that could do that, man. I need that guy to go be a freak show, mismatch, go catch passes. Let's see. Brian and Andy Payne, y'all switching back and forth, or one of you watching on Facebook and one of you watching on YouTube. Either way, I love it because you're driving up our numbers on both. Rap in batches. What's up? At least LSU softball is doing good. Hey, man, let's go Beth Torina. Let's get it, man. Y'all know my feelings on Beth. Love her. Pulling for her. I've said for a long time that she'd be the next coach at LSU to win a national championship. Ogeron and football jumped up, which was amazing. But, it was an incredible season, which I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. But I'd love it if Beth is next. So I think it's an inevitability that Jay Clark's going to win one in gymnastics. It's just a matter of when. Like they'll be in it every year, and eventually they'll be in that meet, and they'll deliver their best performance and win. Basketball is just so tough, but I would love to see it, obviously. I think Kim Mulkey will win one within her contract, and I think it'll happen within 3 years. I think you have a bit of a transition this year, but they'll be back in the tournament. I think next year, year 2, I think they have a great chance to make a Final Four run. Year 2 or 3, let her build her roster, and she'll be right there. Um, let's see, Steve, with Fairfield losing out on conference tourney, they're still getting in the 64. Now, Fairfield lost their first game, but it's double elimination. Did they lose twice? I know they lost to Canisius yesterday, but let's see. No, they're playing today. They're not out. They're playing Monmouth today. Yes, Stephen, they're not out. So it's double elimination. They lost their first game of the tournament to Canisius, but it's double elimination. So they have to win out from here on. Let's see. Gilbert hasn't blocked his entire life. He's not gonna be an emphasis in blocking when he comes back. I'm good with it too. Consider Southern as a very definition of a bid stealer. Well, Will, not really, because the SWAC's going to be a one bid league, right? Like the SWAC's not going to get two bids, so it's great for Southern that they won the tournament. They're going, but no other team in the SWAC is going to get an at large. Like, let me look up. Oh. I mean, I'm pumped for Southern that they won it, but that's a one bid league no matter what. Like, I mean, you got to go down to the 200s or beyond. I'm looking like Florida A&M, that's MEAC, but they're 225. Texas State 226. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's just no. I'm trying to find Southern's RPI. Grambling 280. Pine Bluff 282. Alcorn 286, Alabama A&M 291. See that the point is like Texas Southern 289. None of those schools are getting in as at large. So like the SWAC was always going to be a one bid league. So whoever won that tournament was getting in. So they didn't steal a bid. The challenge is when you have a team that is going to get an at large bid, but a team from that league wins the tournament, and so then you end up being a two bid league, like Gonzaga, for example. Like Gonzaga is getting in as an at large, so if they lose the West Coast Conference tournament, whoever wins that tournament is getting in, but so is Gonzaga. So now West Coast Conference becomes a two bid league, which you need to have that not happen. Hang on one second. I got the star of the show, my little tree frog, my little koala bear. Go home, my boy. I love you. I love you, my boy. I love you, my boy. You're my boy. I love you, my boy. Love you, my boy. All right. Let's see. As always, y'all shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, you go to Brock. That's what you do. Every subspecialty. They are the GOAT. Of course, LSU's team docs are Brock docs. Whoops. No, hold on. Hold on. Good. Hold on. It's it. Okay. Good boy. This is sleepyhead. You slept so good. You slept at 8 o'clock. In your own bed like a big boy. I can't even believe it. Good job. Good job. Good job. Stephen Walzak, did Southern ever hire a football coach? They did. They promoted from within, sort of on an interim basis. Actually, that's what they did with Dawson, and then he got the job full time. So we'll see. Janet Anderson, does anyone know SLU results from last night? I don't. I haven't watched the Southland tournament. Big Ten not having a tournament might save LSU. Maybe, Kurt. That could be part of it, but again, that would just be another potential one bid scenario. But if a team like like Nebraska or Iowa or all done. Hang on, stick up your backpack. I know. Daddy's gonna hold you. Hold on, Daddy will hold you. I know. Just gotta take that off. Okay, come sit. Come sit. Oh. Come sit, my boy. Okay. I got you. My little boy. My little boy. My little boy. My little boy. I love you. Okay. It's okay. He's a sleepyhead, huh? Sleepyhead. Lazy bones. All right. Let's see. Kyle Milliken. What's the news on Gilbert? Talked about it a little bit when we started here. Kyle Shea Dixon has a report that the LSU staff is meeting with Gilbert on a possible return. It seems like it's mostly academic stuff right now. They'll have to get in order. Just to reiterate, they when Gilbert left, when he opted out, I know a lot of fans crushed Gilbert. Part of it was Ed not doing him any favors by saying his body hurt, which was not the case. He was trying to lend the kid some cover for a very legitimate reason, and the reason he said just ended up not being well received. Always a big yawn, but given what happened with him, my assumption was he was going to end up closer to home. And but to their credit, if LSU staff's able to put together a plan that's agreeable to Gilbert, to his family, that he would agree to, and get him back to LSU, that would just be massive. I mean, to add a weapon on the field like that for a young quarterback, whichever. Weird. What's going on with YouTube? Not connected. Be a data thing? All right. Let's see. What's up, Todd Samuel? Calichi. Todd Samuel, Calichi, class of 2000. Hope you're doing well, man. All right. Ali Ganjizada. Did I nail it? Ali Ganjizada. I'm going to say I nailed it. Hope so anyway. John Bro, good morning. Wish Eric would make a decision either way. It's a lot involved, man, you know. A lot involved with the transfer decision. I mean, I did it. You know, my initial decision to leave home and go to Holy Cross and then transfer to LSU. Those decisions weren't made in a day. I went and visited several schools, and I wasn't even considering football, and I didn't even have the issues Gilbert's got going on. So I understand doing his due diligence. Stephen Walzak, they have some freshmen that will be joining us after the Olympic run this summer. What's that? Let's see. Gilbert flanked out to the right at the 5-yard line. Max raises up, throws to the right corner pylon for 6. Hopefully we see some of those jump passes Ed talked about all last summer. Hey, man, couldn't you just see, like, legit, Steven, couldn't you just see Gilbert being this team's version of Terrace Marshall in the red zone? I mean, a big part of the reason why in 2019 Marshall was leading the SEC in receiving touchdowns when he hurt his foot was because he was such an incredible red zone target. And that continued. I mean, all he does is catch touchdowns, things like with Chris Carter, but he was that good in the red zone. I mean, I think Gilbert could be that guy if they're able to get him back. So, fingers crossed. Hope it happens. All right, let's see. A couple more. Thomas Lamont, feel good about LSU baseball in the coming years. 07 was bad, 2 years later. Natty, 11 was bad, 2 years later. 157 games. I see similarities here. Lots of young, talented players. It's true, Thomas. I mean, you got to keep your core together. I mean, remember, with transfer rule now, that extends to every sport. So in the same way that football players can transfer